Should divorce be mourned or celebrated? Divorce should always be mourned because it's certainly the lesser of the options. I mean, a good marriage is the greatest thing in the world, and when a marriage is not good and has to break up, that's sad. That's a tragedy. There is no happy divorce, unless it was never a marriage to begin with, which is a whole other story. Divorce means severing something really precious. It's almost like asking if someone must have an amputation, should they mourn the amputation or celebrate it? It saved their lives. They needed to have the amputation. I mean, they didn't do it for the fun of it. And yet, yes, it should be mourned because a person should be healthy without resorting to amputation. On the other hand, one-on-one, personally, there are people who are divorced, and it is such a relief and it's such a good news in the short term, in the individual picture. But as a rule, divorce is a no-no. Or in different words, divorce is not an option. Maybe you've heard this before. Divorce is not an option. It's not like, let's get married, we can always get divorced. That's not how it works. Marriage means there will be no divorce. We will be married forever. We are soulmates. So we don't treat divorce as some kind of an option always available just in case. No. Marriage is not conditional. And yet God invents divorce and tells us how to do it. Because when you get married, that bond that you create is real. It's not individual choice. It has a power of its own, a life of its own. Marriage is a bond. How do you just walk away? God had to tell us this magical, godly formula for undoing that bond so that you are free to remarry or not, as you choose. But undoing, severing that bond needs divine intervention because the marriage is a divine arrangement. So divorce, when it is necessary, is not optional. Divorce, when it's not necessary, is not optional. It's not an option. When you must get divorced, you have no choice. And when you don't must get divorced, then you have no choice. Because marriage, very good. Divorce, not so good. If a person asks, should I get divorced? Here are my list of complaints. These are my problems. This is what's difficult about the marriage. Should I get divorced? The answer is no. Don't you want to hear more details? No. If you're asking, then the answer is no. When you reach the point of divorce, you don't ask anymore. There's no possibility of maintaining the marriage, and therefore the divorce is justified. So when a person says, I can't do this, then we can think divorce. But if a person says, should I, shouldn't I? Well, then no. Now, even when a person says, I can't do this anymore, I must get divorced, I got to get out of here. How many times have people reached that conclusion and then something changes and all of a sudden the last thing you want to do is get divorced? So, how real is that state of panic? And that's why divorce should never be a decision made in isolation. Talk to people, get input from other people, people you respect, people who know you but are not overly empathetic, so they won't panic with you and they can give you a more objective, uh, more reasoned response. Because I've seen couples who were so convinced that there's absolutely nothing left to this relationship and it must end. It's bad for them and it's bad for the children. And even the children are saying, please get divorced. And then things change. There are new thoughts introduced, sometimes a little therapy, and it just turns around and they are so grateful that they didn't get divorced. So proceed cautiously. If you enjoyed this conversation or this topic and you're looking for more information or you want to hear it again from another angle, there's a way to do that. And that is in this book. It's all there. Order it from Amazon. You can read it, reread it, and share it. We have a Sunday night program for VIPs that you might be interested in. It's informal. It's questions and answers. It's conversation. It's really relaxed. It's really pleasant, enjoyable, informative, and kind of community-like. It's a Sunday night program. There's a Wednesday morning program for the VIPs, and there's a Wednesday night program. All of it just conversation, casual, laid back, unscripted. So join us. Take a look. Click the link below and see which of the three suits you best, and join us for some enjoyable conversation.